So what I've seen with Alex since he's been working with Doug over the past 8 months, I've seen more of a focus on what he's doing at the plate, not necessarily mechanically, but the way he approaches his at-bats, the way he thinks about the next pitch that's coming, thinks about everything that has to do with that at-bat, and really is concentrating on the ball coming from the pitcher, what it's doing as it's approaching him, and he's in such a focused place, more so since he's been working with Doug, whereas in the past, his at-bats could get a little bit frustrating. Now I don't see that level of frustration like I used to when he was a younger player. Now that he's more matured, he's figured that out, and that's been probably the biggest thing that I've seen since he's been working with Doug.
What do you notice different? Like he had a great fall in California. He's a freshman in college ball.
Yes, he's a freshman. He led his team. They probably played about 15 exhibition games, and he had the highest batting average on the team. And I think that the only thing that you could really relate that to is the mental part of the game, like what he's been doing in the box, focusing on his at-bats, really paying attention to his at-bats.
Any advice for players or parents who are going to send their kids for college ball? What's missing in their training?
So, as a young player, Alex really focused a lot on mechanics and the whole mechanical part, the hands, the feet, the legs, the strides, all that kind of stuff. And now as he's matured and those mechanics are basically part of his routine, like that's basically that's what I'm looking for. It just becomes natural to him now, the mechanics. So going to the next level, playing at a college level, and even in his 18U year, we really heard great things about Doug through other people, got him working with Doug, and he even himself has said that it's really changed the way he's became a hitter. He's focused, he being a smaller guy, he's more focused and really paying attention to what he's doing when he's in the batter's box. And that's all a credit to Doug. So one thing I noticed with Alex in a recent game that he was having there in California with his school, the umpire had been somewhat consistent throughout the night, and then in his second last at bat was calling some pitches that were way outside that Alex got frustrated with, and actually some words were said and stuff. But the positive part of that whole thing was that his very next at bat, he came into the batter's box and had a really good at bat. So that's that mental part of the game that he's really been working with Doug, and he basically put his second last at bat aside and got into the batter's box and had a great at bat his next
Instead of letting it affect him negatively,
right,
because he's still carrying it.
That's
still
right.
Carrying those emotions inside for his next at bat.
Yeah, he put all that stuff aside and had a great at bat.
And then another story you had was when the guys were on the hack attack machine, and how the lack of making adjustments. What was that story?
Yeah, so I was watching some of the practices there, and obviously the team is mostly American kids, and I don't think that they really have had the training mentally like Alex has with Doug. And the hack attack, those guys were getting very frustrated because they just kept flying out. They weren't having, the good line drives. They weren't making good contact with the ball, and they're to the point where they're slamming their bat on the ground and walking off all frustrated and everything. And the next time they came into the hack attack, it was the same thing over and over and over again.
Pop-ups, flyouts.
Yeah, just routine flyouts, like nothing spectacular, and not that good contact that a kid that has the mental ability to be able to put that aside can go into the hack attack now and think, okay, so the last round was crap, but let me fix it so that I can get a good round now in this next hack attack. from watching some of the American ball players down there now at Alex's school in California, what those guys are missing there is the mental part of the game. They've been taught the mechanics and they've been taught that sort of stuff, but I don't think that they've ever had someone to talk to and in their approach and stuff the way Doug has with Alex. That's what they're missing down there.